Hey, it's Kika from Kika's Clips. Today I'm going to show you how you can illustrate this animation in Procreate. It's the mushroom from Super Mario Brothers.
Ooh.
But before we begin with this pixel art animation, we will first need to download some free brushes and the color palette we will use. Both the color palette and the brushes that we will use you can find in the description below. There's two links. The first link is for the free Procreate brushes. We will take you to bartobrush.com and we will download this one. There's more you can download, of course, but for this specific class, we're going to use Pixel Art brush set. And it's 100% free.
Whoa!
Come with 3 canvases, 4 brushes, and of course a PDF to explain everything. And then the color palette also has a link. Will take you to my store. Also free. Tap on that, download it, and you'll have the color palette. Now that you have the brushes, the canvas, and the color palette, let's begin. We're going to start off with a canvas size of 100 by 100. This is what the brush set looks like. You have the pixel painter, the digipixel shader, the soft, and the stamp. So you can play around with those. The different colors. I'm gonna find one. Here we go. I'm just gonna pick this turquoise color just to show you how they all work. This one's fun for details. Some shading or making the sky. You have your soft shader. The lighter you press, the lighter the color will show. And then our stamp brush. Okay. First thing we want to do is tap on the wrench icon in Canvas. We're going to turn on our drawing guide. After you toggle that on, tap Edit Drawing Guide. And what we'll do is the grid size, we want to go down to 1 pixel. And then the thickness, not too thick, just so it's easier to deal with, about 30%. And the opacity I like to have around also 30%. And the color, you can change the color of your grid up here from pink to red, orange, green. I just like it to have a light blue. And then tap done. So I can still see my grid, but it's not dark. So now when we choose our pixel painter, one size 1% gives us 1 pixel. If you have size 6, that will give us 6 pixels by 6 pixels. So the size of the brush is the amount of pixels that the brush size will be. So we're going to stick with 1%. Tap on your layers and we're going to choose our background color. And I'm just going to tap on this light blue. Tap done. First layer, we're going to tap on the color icon. Double tap around here to get true white. And first off, we'll start off with drawing our clouds. So we're using the pixel painter. And just draw semicircles like so, and fill that in. I will draw another cloud over here. I'm drawing different sizes of clouds. Trying to make them nice and puffy. Perfect. Now that we have our clouds, we got our background color, let's turn on the animation. So, wrench icon in the actions, canvas, animation assist. You'll toggle that on and automatically you will see this bar pop up on the bottom, and that will be how we animate. First thing we'll do is we'll tap on this first layer and we'll toggle on background. We want the clouds to stay where they are at all times. And now we add our frame. We'll start off by drawing our question box and then our mushroom. So the question box, we've got the yellows right here. I'm gonna start off with this yellow. What I'm gonna do is just, don't worry that it's not straight, just draw out a box. Once you draw a box, fill it in. And then these extra spaces, you can quickly erase or fill in. So I'm using the same brush for my eraser as I am for my brushes. Perfect. Now I'm gonna erase a little bit here on the corners just to make it a little bit more rounded. So I got my eraser. Zoom in a bit, there we go. Like so. I'm gonna toggle on, and now we're gonna just tap on this first frame and tap alpha lock. Well, this will enable that every time we draw or add more detail will only show up on this physical box. So first I'm going to start off with black to outline it and then draw on the inside. So double tap here on the black and just slowly go along your box to outline it. And if, as you're going along and outlining it, if by accident you do this, you have too much, instead of erasing, we don't want to erase, we're just going to repick the color yellow. If I erase, I'm erasing both the yellow and the black because it's just on one layer. So what you want to do instead is select that color yellow and just paint over. If you did erase a little bit, and because it's on alpha lock, I'm unable to repaint. So what I have to do is first turn off alpha lock by tapping on this layer, tap on alpha lock to turn it off, repaint it, and then I will turn alpha lock back on. Grab my black color, and continue. Perfect. Now we're going to grab our white, so double tap on the color picker where it's white, and we need to draw out our question mark. So first I'm going to do that, just draw it out, and then I will go in and clean it up a bit. So the question mark in Super Mario Brothers is pretty geometric, doesn't curve too much. And again, I need to erase this, so I'm not going to use an eraser, but just to recolor yellow. I'm going to tap and hold to get white. And there's my, beautiful. Now I'm going to add some highlight and a little bit of shading. So I'm going to change my brush to the soft pixel shader. I'm still on the same frame, or if you tap here, the same layer, still on alpha lock. I would like to add some white along these edges. And then I will add this deeper brown here in the first column for the shading. So still using that same brown color right here, if you lightly hold paint over, it'll be gradient-like. If I tap hard, I get a full pixel. But if you do it lightly, it'll start shading it as if you're actually shading with a pencil. But we're just doing it with pixels. And it's okay if it's 2 rows or 1 row. And I'll do the same thing with the white here. Okay, that is our question box. And then we're gonna draw our mushroom next, and then we'll animate it coming out. So actually, let's go ahead and add a new layer, or add frame. And automatically, as soon as you add a frame, the question box will become a different color, and that's okay. As we learn more about animation, you'll see that frames that are behind or in front of the current frame that you're working on will have different onion skin frame colors. So mine is orange and blue. If you tap on your settings and you tap on onion skin colors, yours might be a different color, and you can change that. If you tap on the, well, I have orange, whatever color yours is, and I can change it to pink or purple or even yellow. But because my question box is yellow, I'm going to stick with the red orange. And whatever frame's in front will end up being blue. Okay, so let's focus on our mushroom. I'm going to grab the black color, double tap here, and go back to Pixel Painter brush. And so we want our mushroom to be the same width and height as our box. We don't want it bigger or bigger than the box because it will be coming out of our box. So I'm going to use this box as a guide. So we're on frame 2, and I'm going to draw a semicircle. Whoops, I'm on the eraser. I need my brush. A semicircle within this box, and that will be the mushroom top. And then the face will be down here. Make sure your brush is at 1%. If it's 2%, then you'll have bigger, larger lines. So the face of the mushroom is almost like an oval. And then the head begins. So no, it doesn't look quite like a mushroom yet, but as we draw, we'll fix it up. So first I'm going to grab a red color, and I will grab this one right here to fill in the top. As I'm coloring it in, I'm going over some of the black spots where I want it to be red instead of black. And if you can get a little bit more time, just tap pause and then come back to the video. And I'm gonna fix this. This is a little too thick, like so. And then the face, I'm gonna use this. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth from the right side for the face. And same idea, you wanna fill in the main space. I don't want my lines too thick. I'm trying to keep it equal at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the black just to close off that side. And right here, I'm just double checking it's not totally equal, so I'm gonna color pick the beige to make sure it's equal on both sides. And I'm gonna quickly color pick this red and fix this pixel. There you go. Now we need 2 eyes, and then we'll draw in the white mushroom details. So I'm gonna grab the black, just in the middle, two eyes. Now I'm gonna double tap in the top left to grab white and draw a few white circles. They don't have to be perfect because this is pixel art. And if you make a mistake, remember we're not erasing, we just recolor because this is all on one layer. Zoom in if you need to. Sometimes you just need to stamp away. Okay, I like that. So we have our mushroom and we have all the details, and I just realized my eyes are a little bit to the left. So what I'm gonna do is recolor them to make sure they're more centered. There you go, that's better. Okay, so we have a mushroom on one layer, we have our question box on another layer. Our first layer was our clouds. Now let's begin animating. First, we're gonna shrink our question box down and up, and then the mushroom will come out of the box, out of the question box off to the side. So for now, what we're gonna do is just turn off this frame. And when you're in your layers and you tap here to turn it off or to hide that layer, it automatically disappears here in the animation row. So if you tap here on the question box to show it, it will appear here. Turn that off, it'll be gone. We're just gonna focus on this box right now. So tap on your first frame or right here, and we're gonna duplicate it. So to duplicate it, you can just tap on the frame here on the bottom and duplicate. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna shrink it, and we're gonna shrink it by just tapping on our transform tool. Transform tool, make sure you're in uniform, make sure it's to the nearest neighbor. What we'll do is just shrink it down a little bit. Sorry. Tap on the transform tool, we want freeform, not uniform. So we're gonna tap on our transform tool, make sure you're in freeform and nearest neighbor. And what we'll do is bring it down a little bit and bring it up a little bit, just by like a pixel or two. And it looks a little blurry, but that's okay. You tap on your brush icon, it will be clear again. So again, the orange is the showing what the layer is on the first one. The orange onion skin is showing what the box looks like on the first layer. We're gonna keep going. Duplicate, tap on your transform tool, shrinking down a little bit, bring it up a little bit, tap on your brush icon. And it's already starting to change what it looks like, and that's okay. Duplicate. We're gonna do this a few more times. So you have about 4 frames. I think one more. Duplicate. Okay. So, brush. So if you tap play, you can see it shrinking. The animation is very quick. So what we can do is just tap on our settings and bring down the frames per second. So for example, if you tap down to 2, it's very, very slow. Or about 7 looks good. Or maybe 6 for now. Hit pause. What we want to do is go back to your frame. So here you can see the black outline. Here on the top it has disappeared. Same with the next few. So I'm going to add it back in just so it stays neat. So I have my brush. I'm on that layer. Got the black. I'm just going to quickly draw it back in right here on the top. It's already there on the bottom. Next layer. Okay, now all layers, oops, missed a layer. I have the black outline. Awesome. So it's there on each layer. Now what we want the box to do is to expand back out, and then the mushroom will start to appear. So what we'll actually do is copy the previous layers and move them to the front. So you're on your last layer. We will tap on the one before and duplicate it and bring it to the front. We'll do that for each one. Tap on the previous one, duplicate it, and bring it to the front. And we're almost back to the top. Duplicate, bring it to the front. And the last one, or the original one, duplicate, and bring it to the front. So now what you have, you will see is the box shrinking and regrowing, coming back to its original size. Now for the mushroom. We would like to bring it back. So it's still here in your layers. We would like to toggle that on. And what we will do, we will merge the mushroom and the question box into one group. So you want to select both by toggling to the right and then group them. And when we group them, on the bottom here in your animation, it will be one frame. So it's 2 layers, but 1 frame. And we actually want the mushroom behind the box. So we will just toggle that under below. So you can't see it on the frame, but it is there in the layer. And what we will do is we will now move the mushroom 1 or 2 pixels up. So you're on the mushroom layer, tap on your transform tool and just toggle it up a few pixels. And then tap the transform tool again. So if you hit play, on the last layer, when the box's original size, the mushroom will begin to come out. Now we will duplicate that. So tap on the bottom, duplicate, and instead of having to always tap on the layers, tap on the mushroom to then move the mushroom a little bit up again, Procreate is pretty smart, where you can just tap on the screen after you duplicate. So watch, we will duplicate, I tap on the screen, it asks me what frame do I want to edit. I want to edit frame 2 where the mushroom is. I select it, tap on the transform tool, and bring it up a little bit. And we're going to keep doing this till our mushroom is completely out of the question box. Okay, so tap on your last frame, duplicate, tap on the screen. We want to move frame 2, transform tool, bring it up a bit. Whoops, I selected both by accident. So I'm just gonna tap undo. And for whatever reason you're having trouble just tapping and this popping up for you so that you can tap on frame 2, you can always just tap on the layers and make sure frame 2 is selected. Then tap your transform tool and move up our mushroom. Okay, our mushroom is completely out of the question box. So if you tap play, you can see the animation already starting to work. And if it's a little too slow, remember settings, and you can change the frames per second. So I have it at 6, I'm gonna move it up a little bit. Now it looks a little bit more smooth. For you, it might be 9, or you maybe prefer 7 frames per second. So you're totally up to you, your preference. So now what we want to hit pause. So now what we want the mushroom to do is to slowly come up and out of the screen. So we will keep continuing what we were doing. Duplicate, tap on the screen. We want to just move frame 2, our mushroom. And now we will start moving the mushroom over to the right, off the screen. And you can have your mushroom going up, you can have your mushroom going down, or just straight. Complete preference. Whoops, I selected both by accident. So I will tap on the transform tool and undo. And if all the layers below are giving confusion as to where the mushroom was last, what you can do is turn down the amount of onion skins you can see per frame. So if you have it to none, you'll only see what is on this current frame. If you have 1, you can see the frame before, 2 frames before, 3 frames before, and so on. So I like to have it about 2. Then I know where the mushroom used to be, the last 2 frames. And if I go back 1, you can see the blue is where the mushroom is in front, the front frame, the first frame, and the orange is the frame behind. So we're going to keep going. Duplicate, transform to, oops, tap on the page. And we are aiming to move the mushroom at equal spaces, just so that it is smooth when we hit play on our animation. I'm going to start moving it down. And every once in a while, tap play so you can see how your animation is coming along. Just make sure every time you hit pause, you go back to the last frame. And you continue by duplicating and moving your mushroom. And once you're done, you can export this to a friend or use it in a text message or even on your social media, Instagram or anywhere else. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more and that's good for me. If you'd like to keep going till the mushroom completely disappears, you can do that as well. So I'm going to hit play. And I like how my mushroom moves. Now, because if you tap on, it keeps re-looping because it's a setting. So if you tap on settings, it will keep re-looping or restarting. If you tap on ping pong, it'll go back and forth. I'm just going to move my, there you go. you might prefer that setting. I'm just gonna increase my frames here. There we go. One shot is just once. It'll play through once and then stop. So I think I prefer ping pong the best. And now to export it. But before you do so, remember to turn off your grid. So drawing guide, whoops, drawing guide, we're gonna toggle that off so the grid is gone, so that it's smooth. Now remember, when we first started, we used the canvas size 100 pixels by 100 pixels. So canvas information, I'm just gonna show you how big what that means. If you tap on the wrench, go into canvas information, right here, dimensions, it gives us more details. So for example, the pixel width is 100 by 100. So the physical width of that, or how big that really is only 8 millimeters. So imagine just pretty much as big as your thumbnail. It's very, very small. So if you were to send this to someone, it will be blurry. So what we want to do is increase the pixels, the size of the canvas to 1000. So tap done. And what we have to do is select all these frames. First, I'm going to close all these groups and change the canvas size. So I'm going to quickly close all these. A little bit tedious, but it's worth it. You will only need to do this for the pixel art because the canvas is so small. So what I'm going to do is tap on layer 1 and then select all these layers. This is only, you don't need to do this. This is only if you want to use this animation to send to a friend. Now that everything is selected, everything is blue, I'm going to tap on the wrench icon, crop and resize. Once you tap that, we want to tap on settings and we want to type 1000 because pixels, 1000. Make sure your pixels is selected by 1000. 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. Done. And you can zoom out to see how big or small that is. As you can see, it's so tiny. And done. So our original artwork is right here. What we will do, because you've already selected everything, it's still blue, it's still selected. What we will do is tap on the transform tool. We will tap on uniform. Make sure it's on nearest neighbor. And now that it's selected, what we'll do is just drag this all the way to the top and tap play. And now my animation, I can send to a friend. And all you need to do is tap the wrench icon, share. We want to share animated MP4. I had my frames to 10 per frame, or 10 seconds per frame. You can always lower it or increase it if you would like to change it. If not, you can tap export, save it, or send it. Let me know what other pixel art or animation art you would like to do in the next video. See you next time.